So there's a woman, Laura.Catella, on Instagram, and she says that men lead how and women lead what and why. She gives some examples. She says men lead by problem solving. They solve challenges. They thrive in a crisis. Men lead by building. They turn visions, including hers, into the tangible. Hers meaning the partner, the wife, the feminine counterpart. Men lead by scaling. He grows what's already working. And men lead by protection. He creates safety so no one is operating from fear. Men lead by reassurance. He anchors should doubt arise. Women lead by energy, setting emotional tone. When she's light, everything rises. When she's upset, everyone feels it. Women lead in purchasing. She decides what the home needs. Women lead through invitation, reading people and situations before logic even catches up. Sorry, not invitation, intuition. Interesting that V and the U is invitation, intuition. Women lead through beauty, curating aesthetic, environment, and presentations. And women lead with direction. Her vision guides where they go. Mr. Russell Hartley on Instagram talks about the idea that women, you know how they used to say women should be seen and not heard? He says, don't be dumb. If you want, dumb means you can't speak, right? So, my 2 cents is like, so this idea of like women should be seen and not heard, he kind of says like act dumb, don't be dumb. Like act like you don't need to speak, but don't actually be dumb. Act like dumb meaning, I heard it once that dumb means can't speak. So he says 1, let him teach you stuff. 2, conceal your experiences, be impressed. 3, do not verbalize how in demand you are. 4, if he cheats, plan your next move. Don't start out with emotional retaliation. He says accept it if you want to, or plan your exit. And then for Made for Lover Girls on Instagram, MADEFORLOVER, girls. Also, Mr. Russell Hartley is Mr.RUSSELLHARTLEY. That was the last one. Now the next one, Made for Lover Girls. What are you looking for in a relationship? I kind of took this because I felt like it covers the real stuff. Some people say I want him to be able to make a certain amount of money or have a certain degree or be a certain amount of tall. And then not everybody's like that. So here are some other ideas. Consideration, friendship beyond just romance, conversations that never end, carrying everyone through life, words aligned with actions, a family-oriented man with manners, provision in every sense, commitment that does not waver, a playful, childlike kind of love, mutual growth, peace, loyalty that's visible, emotional intelligence, emotional safety, to be fully seen and loved, not just the polished, easy, happy, lovable parts. I want to share, there's a man from California who, I don't think he should be named. I'll give his initials, SDYP. In our last conversation on the phone, may it be our last, I would never want him to contact me again. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. And if anyone should ever say that I'm a villain, they deserved it. That's all I'll say. But anyway, he wanted to give me advice. I said, let's say someone deserves the villain side of me, but I don't want to be the villain. In other words, let's say somebody deserves the beast, the raging beast. They violated me. So I asked him, let me ask the devil, what do I do when the devil wants to hurt me? And I don't want to stoop to the devil's level. So he said, pinch yourself, snap a rubber band, like do something to bring yourself into your body, even a little bit of physical pain so you don't cut off your blood supply and blood to your head. And, so basically learning how to beat the devil, you gotta, it's not the devil, it's somebody who lets the devil control them, right? Like separation and darkness, not love, not oneness, somebody who wants others to lower their standards, someone who wants to torture people so they could feel powerful. Like, we could say anybody, God forbid, could be so broken that they end up in that place. But if somebody gets there and they want to be a victim forever, like this person always complained about stuff from their childhood, but isn't doing anything to not be like that. So when they do things that cause harm, and people, when they're harmed, fight or flight. So let's say I choose subconsciously fight, right? Because the person's maybe far away, I don't think they're going to hurt me, or because that's where the power is coming from, or that's where I feel strong because the person keeps on making me feel weak. So, and that's not someone you want to be in a relationship with. Somebody who doesn't look to help you grow with love, but wants to like teach you the lesson that was not their lesson to teach you. Like they were there to make you to like every minute try to make you as happy as they could, because we're each responsible for our own happiness. Every minute that a woman trusts a man, lets him provide for her, is a privilege for him, because he's only bringing blessing for himself. Anyway, done with my aside. So he told me also, thoughts and feelings are not me. I'm the gatekeeper of the palace. Watch, wait, to understand. 3, he said, I said, what about needing to tell the person, like, I'm too angry right now. So it came up with something. I'm too angry right now. I need space and I'll come back when I'm calm. And 4 is breathing and mind-body connection. So to come back to myself and to basically dissociate from them, because I'm somebody who's willing to have not so many boundaries. In other words, I'm willing to like be intimate and open. And if someone doesn't appreciate that and uses that access as a way to like let's say I let someone come and go from my house, but then they keep bringing me their trash, or they keep making a mess in my house, or they're making loud noise, or they're kicking me out of my house. I don't want them here anymore, right? So how do I like get back my own, like cut them off, is come back into my own domain, my own terrain, my own territory. Don't let them in anymore. So that's how, breathing through, not feeling guilty, and having my own mind, my own body. I don't need to be guilted or think their thoughts or listen to them complain or blame or gaslight or refuse to say sorry, refuse to take accountability. There's no repair. There's no reciprocity. There's no mutual effort. There's no consideration. It's like somebody who's choosing to like get away with it if they try to manipulate my mind because they think they have a hook, because they hold the keys to my future, rather than recognizing that I was just willing to do my best because I thought it was Hashem's will to make yichud with somebody, right? Like yichud means unite. So it's not the oneness, it's the togetherness, it's the unity. Unity requires more than one. Oneness is just oneness. Unity is, unison is one and two become one. Anyway, so instead of making oneness with them, it's making oneness with myself. And I'm giving my own comments, but that was number 4. And number 5 is listen and take correction. Now, he didn't exactly say take correction, but I heard it as that because he was saying, you don't listen. Now, little does he know is that I truly listen. He just didn't feel like he could tell me what to do. I didn't agree with him. Anyway, another man, Shmuel Katz, was telling me 2 things that I could work on. But this is actually going back months, but I only decided to write this down recently. So he said this is in line with accountability, responsibility. He said that there was a time that I'd blocked him and it really hurt him. And he wanted me to say, I won't do it again and I'll find another solution. And I don't believe I blocked him after that, except maybe once he blocked me, I blocked him back and then I unblocked him. And then the second thing was to acknowledge and validate his desires that are sexual and when he becomes aroused in his body. He felt that I was like not validating or acknowledging that he was having that experience. And he felt that it was making me maybe treat him in a different way. And he wanted me to know and be clear that that's what was happening for him and make decisions based on that. So I worked on those things. And then he asked me quite a long time ago, like months and months ago, and he and I are not in touch really at all, almost barely. And if it is, it's because of a greeting or something. And I'd say that he too chose to become like a stranger to me, like in the sense that, how should I say it? Like in many ways, I feel that when I was struggling, he like sexualized me. And that's why I didn't want to acknowledge or validate his sexual desires or arousal. And in the end, he chose to become somebody who, he worked on it to become extremely supportive emotionally without any sexual energy. Yet, for whatever religious reasons, we couldn't be together. And he never showed me what he looked like. He never wanted me to be able to see him in a video call. It was always one-sided. So I was able to project and idealize and fall in love with somebody who wanted me to only know his, like, the parts where he was kind of in control. Curated almost. Anyway, so he asked me, what do you need to feel safe and loved? And I remember that question. I answered emotional validation, reassurance, and quiet company. And he gave me that. He gave me that. And he made me feel more loved than I'd ever felt by anybody in my life. He gave me the unconditional positive regard and acceptance and kind words And I cried so deeply knowing that we wouldn't end up together, because I could not imagine that anyone will ever give me such a level of emotional understanding and validation and insights. He recommended some books to me. I said my goodbyes and videos and text, and he said it was just too hard. He kept catching feelings and becoming aroused, and it was painful for me to not be able to know that I wasn't going to end up with him while I was bonding. So what did I learn from a lot of these different sharings is that I was seeing about myself also being fearless, open-hearted, and unique. Like I spotted those words kind of, and then broad-minded, very connected to humanity, and not potential. And then someone gave me feedback. His name is Volvi or Volf, and he said, I'm passionate, I'm uplifting, energizing, juicy even, and mesmerizing, stimulating. And I want to share finally life lessons I learned about that man. I gave the initials SDYP. I learned recently who he got married to 5 years ago, that he was saying it was all her fault, and he blamed her. He never could admit what he did wrong. And I know from my experience that I explained to you how I got upset at him and wished bad on him and cursed him out and told him bad things should happen to him, and I didn't wish him well, because it was like the cruelty and the deprivation. He would like string me along and then drop me, and then string me along and then abandon me, and then string me along and then reject me in the same pattern. And he knew it was causing me harm. He even said that's how he was harmed. So, he wanted me to represent him as his lawyer while he's violating me in very terrible ways. And he told me the things she did. She like ran away from him. She would come back, try to work on it. He said that she would get very fight or flight, and she was afraid, and she would go crazy from him. He wouldn't treat her in a way that she could feel safe and loved. And so, he said he didn't even want to marry her. She chose everything, and he claims that he didn't even propose. She decided, and he resents her. But I think he's just looking to make up a story because she wanted to divorce him. And he claims, he holds on to this version where she came back and she still wanted him. And I'm like, maybe she was ovulating, and he got kind of like shocked. And, so I learned some things like life lessons in the last few weeks since I haven't been in touch with him at all. And I know he regrets it, because my energy and my nervous system had learned his patterns long enough to know the cycles of some things. And I know that in the end he regretted it. In the end he's going to look for me and everybody. And I don't need that kind of closure validation. It's more that I learned my lessons. I never have to repeat it. So first of all, I know that I'm not interested in him anymore, and that I actually feel sorry for him, that he would rather judge me than teach me, because I had to stoop. I literally had to take off my crown rather than he rise up and be responsible. So he deprived himself of growth, of learning, of skills that he would have owned. They would have belonged to him. He wanted instead that I should suffer. So it's like I had to go into his hell, his darkness, his death, fight his demons. And he never got those tools that he could have learned and had in his tool belt for trust, accountability, admitting mistakes, repairing, healthy communication, emotional intelligence, secure attachment, being a friend, maintaining curiosity, potential, reciprocity, and presence. He chose this to be a lesson of a lifetime rather than a love of a lifetime. It wasn't his job to teach me a lesson. He was just supposed to be a great partner and be on my side, and he didn't know how to do that. I think he's just too broken, and it's not my job to fix him. He once said something like, you don't have to fix me. I'm like, am I Bob the Builder? Like, you're supposed to be the provider. Give me peace, clarity, friendship. And he just couldn't. He even asked once, like, he wanted me to buy him a Lamborghini and a computer. And I just, it's like vomit in the mouth kind of energy. Like, because I had asked him to get me flowers that cost $5 on Kingston Avenue near my house. And it was like such a whole thing for him, such a big deal. He needed so much validation, like gold stars on his chart to split flowers with me, like $1.50, $2.50. So glad that's in my past and not still in my present. And he kind of played himself, because he wanted me to like do the same thing where I try to fix it and I do all the work and I chase him and I find things I did wrong, and I didn't. I just let him, I let him decide, and I cut the cord. And, loss and grief are not strangers to me. He really underestimated my strength. It was because I fought for the relationship. He thought he was the prize, but I was the prize. I was the one who was willing to fight for the relationship. It's very hard to find that in this disposable culture. And I just know he's not going to find someone like me. I guess in some ways I have strengths he can't even dream of, intuition and mystical teachings, and just like people, like I've interacted with so many people from all over the world, and I'm not an expert, but I just know that like there's something special about consciousness, about love, like what's precious, and he took it for granted, and so he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve to come back and have it. I want to share one last thing, just something interesting. Someone told me that my last name in Czechoslovakian means acrobatic, and I used to be kind of athletic physically, and may it be God's will that I return as a mitzvah, as a holy divine practice, so that I could guard my body the way I'm supposed to better. But also I was thinking about like maybe his name is Yehuda David Daniel Sandek, who told me this, but maybe it's because it's like mentally, emotionally acrobatic, which is about range, right? Flexibility, mobility. So it's like to be able to move mentally and emotionally. Anyway, and then he told me another thing. The word gachelet, which means a glowing coal, like an ember, in Hebrew is the same numerical value as emet, which is truth, which is 441. So, yeah, just very interesting. So I'll stop there. I wish everybody all the best. Bye.